Well, good morning and welcome to this morning's reflection. And welcome to my window as we look out this morning on a very wet and damp world. And yet we rejoice because it's been particularly hot for some time and the garden has got dry. And now it has been replenished with some really good soaking rain. So welcome to my window as we look out onto a wet and damp world. Today I want to talk about the picture of harmony. And so through this week, we want to be inspired by those who seem to live in harmony with the end for which they were created. We need to so focus on the purpose for which we were created that we rid ourselves of whatever gets in the way of that purpose. To do this, we must make ourselves indifferent to the outcome. And when I use the word indifferent, I don't mean that you do not care. Simply that you're open to whatever direction God chooses to lead you. In a sense, to not desire health over sickness, to not desire a long life over a short life, to not desire anything at all in and of itself. We should desire only what helps us to attain the end for which we were created. When our desires and our choices move in the direction of, I want to be healthy, or I want to be successful, or I want to have honor and praise, or I want attention, then we know that life is out of balance and we have become far too self-absorbed. When we see someone who is carefree in loving, in giving themselves, in living freely for others, that inspires us. And so this week, let us reflect on those who have inspired us in this way. So be conscious this week of those who live lives of praise, reverence, and service. And so it might be helpful if you get a piece of paper and you write down the names of the people who have inspired you. Start with the people that you don't know personally, people who are in the news, people you've heard about, people perhaps like Mother Teresa, any person that you're aware of that has given their lives for purposes beyond themselves. There might be people that you have met in passing, but have not affected you personally, but knowledge of their lives has proved an inspiration. And then there are the people you know, those who have personally inspired you. Now spend time reflecting on the qualities in each of those people. How is their life in balance? What do they seem to be free from? And what do they seem to be free for? What choices have they made for God? This is not a time to judge yourself. This is not a time to find yourself wanting as you look at those who inspire you. For we are all in different places on life's journey. We're simply noting our own unfreedoms. We all have inclinations which drive us. And if those inclinations are not tended, they will come to dominate and imprison and sometimes destroy our lives. So this week we notice those areas that most commonly draw us away from God's purposes. It's a week to be honest and gentle with yourself as you look at your own unfreedoms. This week we are guided toward a freedom that will be the result of honest reflection and prayerful surrender. But that takes time, and it takes God's grace. The basic freedom of this week is the simple recognition of our human tendencies, which, when softened by our contact with Jesus and God's way, become elements of harmony and balance. Be not afraid. The God who calls is faithful, and that God is constantly inviting us into the symphony of a rich and free life. May you be deeply blessed today. Amen.